Hey guys, it's Ham Edits here, and today I'm going to be doing my first tutorial on my channel. This tutorial is going to be covering the 3D camera tracking, 3D camera tracker, and Element 3D. I think I've seen a couple tutorials like this before, but they're a bit more complex than I thought. So this one's going to be more simple and more straightforward, hopefully. So. A couple things. This tutorial is going to be based around After Effects CS6 for the 3D camera tracker. There is other camera trackers just like this for other After Effects that are CS 5.5 and below, and you can install that. It's a third-party plugin that you can get for After Effects CS5 and below, and it'll do the same thing as 3D camera tracker. And yeah, so if you have the Foundry camera tracker, then you should be able to follow this tutorial really well. So without further ado, we'll move on to the tutorial. So I'm going to be motion tracking the cinematic that I have that I used in one of my edits. That I'll show you guys how I did it. And so you're gonna drag it into the comp right here, and your comp settings shouldn't matter. Your frame rate shouldn't matter because it's still 59 frames, and you know, it's still HD, and so frame rate does not matter at all, so it's okay. And on here we have the spectating and menu thing and whatever, and we don't want that. So natural thing to do is to scale it up and move it over a bit, and it looks good right there. But the one thing is, when we put on the 3D camera tracker, it's not gonna finish it, and it's not gonna be a good, oops, sorry about that. It's not gonna be it's gonna need the entire frame, the entire original frame, to track it. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to render out this cinematic, how it is right here as the view. So we get rid of the spectating and the menu so your cinematic looks better. So what we're going to do is we're going to add to render queue, go to best settings, and I'm just going to change this to 59.94 so it's the same frame rate as the composition that I'm guessing that you're going to be using in your main comp while you're editing. And you don't have to do anything here. No audio output since it's a cinematic, so that's all good. And I'm gonna save this to my desktop on my Mac, and since I'm on a Mac, but you can save it to wherever you want if you're on PC or whatever. So I'm gonna put this tutorial cinematic, and we're gonna render this out. And it's probably gonna take a little bit, so I'll cut this part out for you guys. So I'll be back. Alright, it's done. So we're going to go back into our project right here, and we're going to import that rendered cinematic that we did. So you can go to File, Import File, or Command-I, as I like to do. So we go onto the desktop here, and go down here. It's my rendered cinematic without the spectator on there, so that looks good. Put it into our project file, and we're going to put this right above the original cinematic. So that way the size of it is the size of the comp and not stretched out like this one. So we're going to just delete this one. And we have our rendered cinematic, so it's all good. So now we can apply the 3D camera tracker or the Foundry camera tracker. Whatever works for you. This tutorial is meant to be entirely inside of After Effects, so you won't need programs like Buju and Cinema 4D to do this effect. So that's the glory of it, and it's probably going to take a while too, so I'll cut this part out for the sake of time, and I'll be back. Alrighty, so it tracked it, and it did a good job, so it looks like all these points are good. A thing I forgot to mention before is when it's tracking it, you don't want to go off into your browser or your Skype or whatever. Try not to leave After Effects, that way it's the most precise tracking, and it doesn't mess it up for you. So that's the thing to do, look out for. So we got these little rainbow points here. So when you're looking at this, and if they're too small, depending on what you're doing, like let's say you're doing something over here or right here or somewhere really far away, you can always go here to the track point size and increase it so you can see it better, and you can mess with it more. But I'm going to be doing one that's a bit more that's more closer right here in front of this bunker. So and the target point size, this increases the size of the bullseye that you're going to be seeing. So 100's fine for all these right now. So I'm going to choose the point in front of the bunker right here. So you're going to right click, create text and camera. So it's going to create the camera for you, and this is what Bougie would do. It would create a camera for you, but this is in After Effects with the tracker, so it did that for us automatically. And yeah, so we get some 2D text, and that's cool. If you're going for that, you can always move it around and do other stuff to it, but we are not going to do that today. So we're going to make a new solid. We're going to call this element. Okay, there we go. Element. Can't spell today, so we're going to look up element. Drag that onto the solid, and there we go. So we're not going to see anything yet because we have to select the text layer. So we go to custom layers, custom text and masks. It's the one at the top right there. Click that down, go to path layer 1 and select the text layer. So that way we get that. Let me go click out of that, go to scene setup, and we're going to click extrude. So it makes it 3D now. So we extruded it, and you can always extrude it more if you want to, make it bigger, smaller, whatever. I'm just gonna keep it at 1 for now because I'm gonna put on a bevel for you guys so you guys can see what I'm doing a bit better. So double click on a bevel, I'm just gonna do that, and we get some colored shiny text stuff. So then we click OK, and so it created the text over here. Now that's alright. Okay, okay, so this is okay. We can always position it over and it'll be just fine. For the 2D text, we can always just turn that off, and our original text will stay. So we go to group 1, which is where our text is, and I go to particle replicator and change the position to where you want it to. So I'm gonna drag it over a bit, go to the point where I want it to. I have it in front of here, so I gotta drag it over pretty far. Okay. Actually, this is gonna be like the frame where I want it to focus on, right here. So then change the position. So Z position is how far away it is. So I'm gonna keep it right there, and then go to particle look. Actually, no, rotation. There we go. So I'm gonna change the Y rotation to make it even with the thing right there. X kind of doesn't really do much. Z just kind of changes it like that, so it's more level with the stairs. And I'm gonna move it over a bit. Maybe scale it up over a bit there. Actually, right there. So change the position Z up a bit so you get more of the 3D look. There we go. So some good text right there. I like it. Actually, there we go. And then we can go to particle look and size. This is how big your text is going to be. So you can always adjust these numbers, the position, the scale, and everything, you know, when you're doing this. So it looks good right here, and right now the text looks good if you want it to be like that. But another trick that I'm sure all of you seen and you guys probably know by heart now is the reflective surface on here. So I'm going to go back to my project file and import or drag down the Tutsin again, because this one already has the camera tracker on it, which we kind of need. So I'm going to right click on there, go to time, freeze frame, or no, not time stretch, oops, time, freeze frame, so we get a still image of what we want. So we're going to go back into our element here and go to custom layers, and we're going to go to custom texture maps. So we're going to click that down, we're going to go to layer 1, and we're going to have that be the 5th layer, which is the freeze framed image, which is going to be reflecting off it. So we're going to go back into scene setup so I can set this up for you guys. Yeah, reset this. So we're going to click extrude again, so I can get the reflective surface. So I'm going to get some chrome on here so it's easy to see and you can see it better. So then we go into environment, and this is the environment that it's reflecting off of. So it's not gonna match up with this right here, so it's not gonna look as cool unless you want to have that shiny metal surface. Then that's cool. But if you're going for something more realistic, then we're gonna go back into environment, click this little thing next to default, and go down to custom layer 1 tutsin.mov. So it will take that reflecting image that you had, that you took from the timer map thing, and it's gonna reflect off of the image. So to get the best, I guess, effect of it, use the still image that you want it to be more focused on and freeze frame it there rather than like over here, because then you'll get darker spots onto the text right there. As you can see, the rock right here is reflecting on the side right there. So yeah, that's about it for this tutorial. As I said before, you can always do your own style of text. What is this? Interesting. You can always do your own. You can always extrude it more, make it bigger. Don't know what's going on right now. You can always make it bigger, like right here. I'll go back in here. Here we go. So we can always extrude it more, make it bigger, wider, expand the edges, which makes the edges bigger, and then bevel size makes it more round, bevel depth, etc. You know, make your text all cool and stuff, and realistic, and floating, and tracked. So, but when you're in your main comp, I'm just gonna make this main. Let's pretend like this is your main. And this is your clip of the guy shooting people, and we put in our cinematic, which is like, let's say we wanted to start here, and you can put in the entire comp into there, but it might take a longer time to RAM preview, so you might have to skip a frame and then put it on quarter to do that. My computer is more faster at this, so I don't really need to render it out. But you can always go back into your cinematic thing and render it out and do all the stuff, the same settings like you did before. So, yep. That's about it for this tutorial. If you guys want to know anything else, learn any, see any other effects that I've done, or have any suggestions for me, let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. And like this tutorial if you learned anything, and if you want to see more tutorials, and check out my other videos and my other edits to see what you like. And yeah, so peace out, y'all.